שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים. שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. יאללה יאללה יאללה, הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. יאללה יאללה יאללה, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים. שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים. שבת אחים גם יחד.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
I heard Cantor Desnik. How about everybody else? Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
There we go.
Oh, thank you, Anton. It's beautiful, beautiful. So Shabbat Shalom, and welcome to Temple Emanu-El. Welcome to our members. Welcome to the Anton extended family and to any friends who are here for the first time. Under your chair, you will find a red siddur. And if you don't find one, somebody nearby should have two. And this is going to be our prayer book that we use throughout our service. Our service is highly participatory. That means you participate. There's lots of ways to participate. Sometimes it's going to be claps, sometimes it's snaps, sometimes it's lies. A lot of the time it's join us when we get to italics in our prayer book. For those following along, if you open to any page, you'll see the Hebrew on the far side. You'll see transliteration. That's the English letters telling you what we're saying in Hebrew. And then you'll also have the translation. So we hope that you will pray with us and follow along throughout our service. I am Rabbi Rachel Miller, here with Cantor Lauren Adesnik, and of course with Graham, our young man becoming a bar mitzvah this evening. And so friends, I would love for you to take a moment to take your phones out and put them on silent or turn them off. Anything that beeps or buzzes, Apple Watches, all of it. As Rabbi Spike likes to say, if it rings, I might just have to answer it. Evil eye. Okay. So if you guys need to step out of the sanctuary for any reason, you can do so through the exit from which you came in. There's also an exit over here and one behind you as well. And if needed, there's one behind us too. Let's see. Oh, yes. Take a second, turn to somebody you did not drive here with, wish them a Shabbat Shalom, and then we'll come back together in just a few moments.
Shabbat Achim Gam Yachad. Everyone put your hands together. Hinei ma tov u'ma na'im. Shabbat Achim Gam Yachad. Hinei ma tov, hinei ma tov. Yalalai, yalalai, hinei ma tov, hinei ma tov. Yalalai, yalalai. Last time. Hinei ma tov u'ma na'im. Shabbat Achim Gam Yachad. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
Friends, we're going to begin our service here on page 5, and I'd like to invite up proud grandfather Ronald Anton to present to you your talit.
As this talit is draped around your shoulders, may the voices of the generations speak to you. May you know that there is a people, a rich heritage to which you belong, a sacred place from which you are connected to all who dwell on earth. As you are embraced in the folds of this talit, so too are you wrapped in the loving embrace of your family, community, and the holy congregation. May the simplest of garments always be for you a symbol of God's abiding and sheltering presence. As you recite the blessing and wrap yourself in this talit, we proudly watch and celebrate with you as you accept your place in the chain of our tradition.
Graham, you're going to say the blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shechanu vekimanu vehigianu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kedishanu b'mitzvotav vetzivanu lehitatev batzitzit.
Amen.
All right, and so sometimes we gather and it's not an awesome time. This is one of those really awesome times for family and friends to be together. And so we say our blessing, Shehachianu, thanking God for reaching this moment.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu l'zman hazeh. We sing amen.
All right, friends, we continue on page 6 as Graham leads us in this prayer for him becoming bar mitzvah.
God, be with me on this occasion of my bar mitzvah. Help me make meaningful of the covenant you now establish with me. Sustain me with a sense of holiness. Inspire in me a desire to be special. I do not ask that you make my life easy, resolve my problems, map out the directions of my life. I ask only that you strengthen within me the desire to mold and shape my life in accordance with your will. In this hour of my bar mitzvah, I invoke your blessings upon my parents and friends and all who have loved and cared for me and have brought me to this time of gladness. Give them joy and fulfillment in my growth and my achievement. You who turn the hearts of children to their parents and the hearts of parents to their children.
Amen, amen. And friends, we turn to page 10 for Ashrei. And Graham, this prayer, Ashrei, it starts out with talking about happiness for people being able to pray together. We talked about this a little bit in class, which is that the idea here for this whole prayer, it's that if you use the Judaism, if you make this a part of your life, happiness. What it doesn't say, of course, is the opposite. It keeps it in the positive. It says the more you use your Judaism, the more you try to connect with God, whether it's that big unknown thing in the universe or that small still voice within, the more you do that work, the happier you will be. Ashrei, page 10, we pray responsively.
Ashrei yoshvei veitecha, od yehalalucha selah.
Ashrei ha'am shekacha lo, Ashrei ha'am she'Adonai Elohav.
Tilat le'aviv, aramim chalochai ha'melech, baracha shimcha le'olaham va'ed.
B'chol yom avarchecha, v'halala shimcha le'olam va'ed.
Gadol Adonai mehulal meod, b'ligdalato ein cheker.
Dor l'dor yishabach ma'asecha, u'gvurotecha yagidu.
Hadar kavod hodecha, v'divrei nifotecha asicha.
Ve'ezuz norotecha yomeru, u'gduletecha asaprena.
Zecher avtucha yabiu, betzidecha dacha yaranenu.
Chanun v'rachum Adonai, erech apayim u'gdol chesed.
Tov Adonai lakol, v'rachamav al kol ma'asav.
Yoducha Adonai kol ma'asecha, v'chasidecha yivarchucha.
Kavol mahutecha yomeru, u'gavrutecha yareberu.
Lehodia livnei ha'adam givurotav, u'kvod hadar malchuto.
Malchutecha malchut kol olamim, u'mem shotecha b'chol dor v'ador.
Somech Adonai lechol hanoflim, v'zokef lechol hakifufim.
Enecho elach yasaberu, va'ata noten lachem et ochlam be'ito.
Poteach et yadecha, umaspia lechol chai ratzon.
Tzadik Adonai b'chol derachav, v'chasid b'chol ma'asav.
Karov Adonai lechol korav, lechol asher yikra'u ve'emet.
Ratzon ye'arav yaseh, ve'et Shabbatam yishmav yoshiem.
Shomer Adonai et kol ohavav, ve'et kol harshayim yashmid.
Ti'ilat Adonai yidaber pi, v'varech kol basar shem kodsho le'olam va'ed.
Va'anachnu nevarech me'ata ve'ad olam. Hallelujah. Beautiful. Page 13. Graham is going to lead us in this responsive reading. This is that first time where you're seeing those italics, so we invite you to please join in with us each time we hit those. And Graham, this is a little blessing that we'll hear about welcoming, about being that smiling face. You're that guy. You're the guy who somebody comes into class and you're like, who are you? Hi. Keep being that welcoming person, because that makes people feel really, really nice, and it helps to build this beautiful community that we have here. Whenever you're ready.
May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for fellowship.
May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture.
May the door of the synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride.
May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet.
May it be too high to admit indifference, selfishness, and harshness.
May this synagogue be for all who enter the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. Page 15, we rise for our Baruchu.
Yai la 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 la, yai la la. Yai la 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 la, yai la la. Yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la, yai la la. Yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Baruchu et Adonai hamivorach. Baruch Adonai hamivorach, hamivorach le'olam va'ed. Hamivorach, hamivorach le'olam va'ed.
So on the inside back cover, one of the inside covers, you're going to see the prayer Ma'ariv Aravim. And this is a prayer that's all about welcoming on the evening, changing from daylight, rolling into darkness. And Graham, it's a lesson in that words have power. And so just like our Torah says, God spoke the world into being, that's a pretty powerful thing. God spoke as evening went into morning and morning back into evening. Pretty powerful thing. And so each time we use our words, this prayer, Ma'ariv Aravim, it's a reminder of how powerful they can be. If you'll lead us in this prayer together.
Baruch
Atah
atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim b'chachma poteach she'arim uvit vuna meshane itim chalif et hazmanim sader et hakochavim b'mishmerotehem barokia hirtzono Borei yom v'layla golel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or uma'ariv yom umevi layla umvadil bein v'yom v'bein layla Adonai Sevaot Shemo El Chai V'Kayam Tamid Yamloch Aleinu Leolam Va'ed Baruch Atah Adonai
Hama'ariv Aravim. Beautiful. On page 16, we have our prayer Ahava Rabbah. And Graham, this is a prayer that's about, it's really like God's model for us of how to be compassionate. This idea that if God is somebody, something, some entity that can show compassion to us, how awesome would it be if each of us in this world took a moment to think about that compassion and to give it out to others. Ahava Rabbah, page 16.
Ahava Rabbah Ahavtanu Adonai Eloheinu Chemla Gedola V'Tereh Chamalta Aleinu Ba'avor Avotenu Ve'imotenu Shebachu Vecha V'Lamdem Chukei Chayim Kain Techonenu Utlamdenu Hamrachem Rachem Aleinu V'Tein Belibenu Lehavin Ulhaskil Lilmod Ulalamed Lishmor Ulasasot Ukayem Et Kol Divrei Talmud Tortecha Ba'ahava Baruch Atah Adonai Habocher Be'emo Yisrael
Be'ahava. On page 18, we stand feeling our feet on the floor. Perhaps you want to close your eyes. We declare God's oneness with words of Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated. And still on this page, on page 18, Graham in a second is going to lead us in Ve'ahavta. And the Ve'ahavta is a prayer that reminds us that we need reminders. So we have things on the doorposts of our house, on our synagogue, of sacred places, and in those scrolls is this prayer. And it's telling us to think about how we act whenever we wake up, whenever we go to bed. Actually, it tells us in the other order. When we go to bed and when we wake up, to think about all of the things that can make us really good people. And so what happens is, it's hard to do that without check-ins. Everybody needs like that Post-it note on the bathroom mirror that says like smile today, okay? Our Post-it note for the Jewish people, it's the mezuzah that's on the door, okay? And every time you pass that, that's that sign to check in with yourself. Say, am I being awesome today? Am I being a good person? Am I saying the right things? Am I making people feel good? That's what this prayer is all about. Ve'ahavta, page 18.
Ve'ahavta
Et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinatam levanecha v'dibarta ba'am v'shivtecha b'veitecha u'lechtecha v'aderech u'shochbecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu latotafot b'neinecha u'ktaftam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
And on page 19, We have a prayer to help us get ready for Micha Mocha, and Graham's grandmother, Karen Anton, has the honor of leading us in that prayer. Do you want me to hold it?
Adonai, our God, you took us of slavery in Egypt. You made us free.
You were in the courage with which we overcame 40 years of desert wandering.
Even today, you are the hope that, like a beam of light, brightens the darkness and suffering and despair.
You are in the love that creates, protects, forgives.
Standing at the sea, we felt your goodness and your love, and we sang a new song to you. And still today, we sing that song.
We praise you, Adonai, Redeemer of Israel. Thank you. Micha Mocha, page 20.
Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 yai lai 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 lai. Let's try that together. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai. Micha Mocha ne'edar b'kodesh. Norat tehilot osefelet. Norat tehilot osefelet. Adonai imo le'olam va'ed. Adonai imo le'olam va'ed. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 yai lai 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 lai. ונאמר כפר אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
On page 21, this is one of the prayers that we've been working up toward in this service. It's considered one of our central standing prayers, and that is our Amidah. And it begins with Avot V'Imahot, a prayer connecting us to generations past and generations yet to be. If you will, please rise. 1, 2, 3.
Adonai
Sefatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, v'Konei HaKol, V'zocher chasdei avot v'imahot, u'mevi ge'ula livnei v'neihem, lema'an shemo b'ahava, melech ozer u'moshiach u'magen. Baruch atah Adonai, magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, mechayeh hakol atah rav le'hoshia, morid hatal. Mechalkel chayim bechesed, mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, somech noflim verofeh cholim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato, lishenei afar, micha mocha ba'al gevurot, umido melach, Melech memit umechayeh umatzmiach Yeshua v'ne'eman atah l'chayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai mechayeh hakol. Beautiful. Friends, we turn to page 23, and I'll invite up towards our microphone Brooke Blake and Nicholas Sawyer. That's fine. This one works too. You guys go.
Many are the ways of holiness, varied are its paths.
There is holiness when we strive to be true to the best we know.
There is holiness when we are kind to others.
There is holiness when we strive for harmony in all of our relationships.
There is holiness when people of different backgrounds work together for a common future.
There is holiness when people seek justice and struggle for righteousness.
There is holiness when people create lasting poetry or song or philosophy.
There is holiness when we forget what divides us and remember what unites us.
Holy, holy, holy is our God.
Amen. Beautiful. Thank you. We continue with Kiddusha, page 24.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב היד נביאך, וקרא זה זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך הארץ, כבודו. אדירנו אדוני, אדוננו, מדיר שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו ומלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון, לדור ודור, hallelujah. Lidor vador,
Lidor vador,
Lidor vador, now it's your turn. Lidor vador, nagim kol lecha. Repeat after me. Lidor vador, now you.
Lidor vador,
Lidor vador,
Lidor vador,
Lidor vador, nagim kol lecha. ולנצח נצחים, קדושתך נקדיש, קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו, מפינו לא ימוש, לא ימוש לעולם ועד. Here comes your part. לדור ודור,
Lidor vador,
לדור ודור,
Lidor vador,
לדור ודור נגיד כל לך. לדור ודור,
Lidor vador,
לדור ודור,
Lidor vador,
לדור ודור נגיד כל לך. כי המלך גדול, גדול וקדוש, גדול וקדוש אתה. כי המלך גדול, גדול וקדוש, גדול וקדוש אתה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הגדול.
Please be seated as Graham leads us responsibly at the bottom of page 25.
From of old, the Jewish people have seen Shabbat as a unique gift, a token of its covenant with God.
Shabbat is the most cherished creation of the Jewish spirit. It mirrors the essence of the Jewish soul.
Shabbat has never been merely a day of rest from labor. It has always been a break in the routine of everyday life.
Shabbat is a symbol of liberation and triumph, of the holy over the profane, of spirit over matter.
In every age, Shabbat afforded the Jew a sacred retreat, a haven of safety, a fountain of new strength and perpetual renewal.
Shabbat nurtures family life in love and harmony. A home at peace welcomes Shabbat with joy.
Shabbat is a part of nature's design, the very purpose of creation. All that was created attained its fulfillment in Shabbat.
Shabbat is our hope, the calm haven where all the weary find rest. With the coming of Shabbat, redemption and peace enter the world. Our prayer for Shabbat, Yismechu, page 26.
ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת. זכר 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 למעשה בראשית שבת. זכר למעשה בראשית שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת.
On page 27, we have Erica and Scott Anton to lead us in this responsive prayer. If you'd like to do so from the microphone on the floor, you're welcome to come up here.
Our world is full of wonders and miracles, but all it takes is one little hand placed before our eyes and we see nothing.
But miracles are all around us or within us. We are each walking miracles.
When we are bruised, what miracle heals us? When we see beauty, what miracle elevates us? When we hear music, what miracle moves us?
When we see suffering, what miracle saddens us? When we give and receive love, what miracle warms us? When we pray, what miracle renews us?
Every springtime is a miracle. Every snowflake is a miracle. The thoughts we think, the words we speak, the hopes we cherish, each is a miracle.
For all these miracles, may your name be exalted and blessed forever and ever. Thanks.
Thank you.
You can give hugs if you want. And then on page 28, Graham has the honor of leading us in this responsive prayer.
Our God, we know there is no greater gift than peace. Help us to find the peace that comes from the love of your Torah.
Inspire us to banish hatred, war, bloodshed, and bigotry. Help us to establish forever one human family, doing your will in love and peace.
Help us to find peace in ourselves and among all people. O God of peace, bless us with peace.
You have given us the power, O God, to bring peace and justice into the world. May we always love peace and pursue it, and love our fellow creatures. Fill us with kindness, wisdom, and love. Then shall we learn to live in peace. Blessed is God, teacher of peace. Our prayer for peace, Sim Shalom, page 28.
Sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, tova uveracha. Sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, tova uveracha. Yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai. Sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, tova uveracha.
Take a few moments for silent prayer and meditation, whether the remaining prayer on page 29 or the prayers of your heart, and we'll join back together in just a few moments.
Yihiyu l'ratzon imrefi v'hegyon livi lefanecha. O God, may the words of my mouth and meditations of my heart be acceptable before you, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer. Yihiyu l'ratzon imrefi v'hegyon livi lefanecha. Try with me. Yihiyu l'ratzon imrefi v'hegyon livi lefanecha. Adonai turi, Adonai turi, Adonai turi, v'goali. Adonai turi, Adonai turi, Adonai turi, v'goali. Yihiyu l'ratzon imrefi v'hegyon livi lefanecha. Yihiyu l'ratzon imrefi v'hegyon livi lefanecha. Adonai turi, Adonai turi, Adonai turi, v'goali. Adonai turi, Adonai turi, Adonai turi, v'goali.
At this time, it's my honor to call forward proud mom and dad. Come on up, guys, to offer Graham your first parent's blessing. Sorry.
May you live to see your world fulfilled. May your destiny be for the world still to come. And may you trust in generations past and yet to be.
May your heart be filled with intuition and your words be filled with insight. May songs of praise ever be upon your tongue and your vision be on a straight path before you.
May your eyes shine with the light of holy words and your face reflect the brightness of the heavens. May your lips ever speak wisdom and your fulfillment be in righteousness.
A Jewish home opens its heart and its link to the generations is proclaimed. Today our child, nearly grown, is called to read from the Torah and is welcomed into the congregation.
May this moment be blessed.
Amen, amen. Hugs and kisses encouraged. All right, friends, so you guys are going to stay right up here, and we have some logistical pieces that are going to happen right now. And I'll give a reminder to please keep our phones away during our service. And I'd like to invite forward Jason Anton and Alexa Anton to go ahead and be present up at the Bima to stand by for opening our ark. If Jessica Wienick will come on up and stand right near Cantor Adesnik, you'll be helping us to undress our Torah scroll. And then if Karen Anton, Ronald, and Denise Anton, if you guys would, I believe, stand kind of right down here at the foot of our Bima for our generational moment. I think that covers everybody, so come on up.
Everybody come up.
Everybody whose name I said, make your way. And we're going to be on page 32, so please rise.
El kamocha v'Elohim Adonai v'en k'ma'asecha malchutecha malchut kol amim u'memshaltecha b'chol dor v'ador Adonai melech Adonai malach Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed Adonai oz le'moyitein Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom av harachamim heitiv avirtzonecha et Zion tivne chomot Yerushalayim tivne Adon Olamim, Ki Mitzion Tetzei Torah, Ki Mitzion Tetzei Torah, Udevar Adonai Mirushalayim, Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah, Le'amo Yisrael, B'Kedushato.
All right, guys, so I'm going to have you like angle that way so we can see grandparents. Like your whole bodies. Yep, Graham, go stand. Yes, exactly. Perfect. And so this is this really awesome moment where Torah, Graham, is getting passed to you, quite literally, from generation to generation. And if we think about it, though, it's not just the grandparents and your parents who are standing here, but it's the grandparents who aren't standing here. It's the great-grandparents, great, going all the way around this congregation and back to you so that you could stand here on this day to read Torah for us. So I'm going to go down to your grandparents so they can give the Torah a little hug and kiss, and then we'll pass it along to you. Perfect. And then Todd, are you doing the passing? Okay, so hug and kiss. Yep, I'm going to pass to you so that you can pass to him. Whatever you want. There you go. Okay. Now you'll pass to Graham. Okay, get nice and comfy because you're going to walk around with this thing. All right, so let's come center here. And we'll continue.
Top of page 33 with Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo, Gadol Adonai iti, Uneromima Shemo Yachtav, Lecha Adonai Hagedula, V'Hagevura, V'Hatiferet, V'Hanetzach, V'Hahod, Ki Chol B'Shamayim U'Va'aretz, Ki Chol B'Shamayim U'Va'aretz, Lecha Adonai Hamelacha, V'Hamid Naseh, L'Chol Rosh, Romimu Adonai Eloheinu, Ve'ishtakavu Lehar Kocho. Romimu Adonai Eloheinu, Ve'ishtakavu Lehar Kocho. Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu, Romimu Yailai Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu, Romimu Yai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai, yai lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai.
Please be seated.
What? Yeah.
All right, friends, so what Graham is about to do is really, really hard. Okay, so he's been preparing his whole life to become bar mitzvah, but in the last like 6 months working extra hard to be able to chant from this scroll, which has no vowels and is a scroll special to this congregation. And so it is a great honor for him to be able to do this for us on this Shabbat. And so, friends, if you would like to follow along with the Torah reading, you'll want to look under your chair for the big blue book. There's two. It's the bigger one, and it says Torah. If it doesn't say Torah on it, it's the wrong one. Okay? And in that book, you can turn to page 875 for our Torah reading. Graham is going to be chanting from the book of Leviticus. He'll be chanting chapter 17, verses 1 through 12.
For the honor of our first Aliyah, we call up to the Bima. Proud older sister Lena Anton. Come on up, Ya Ta'amod, Magdalena bat Feifel Froim, Vitamar la Aliyah Torah.
Awesome. And so just ahead of this blessing, I'm going to go ahead and read our translation for what Graham is about to chant. So he's about to chant, Adonai spoke to Moses saying, speak to Aaron and his sons and to all the Israelite people and say to them, this is what Adonai has commanded. If any one of the house of Israel slaughters an ox or sheep or goat in the camp, or does so outside of the camp, and then we have to keep going. Okay.
And just flip it. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach. Baruch
Adonai hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah. We all say Amen.
V'yedaber Adonai el Moshe lemor. Daber el Haron ve'el banav ve'el kol bnei Yisrael v'amarta alehem zeh hadavar asher tziva Adonai lemor. Ish ish mi beit Yisrael asher yishchat shor o chesev o et b'machane o asher yishchat michutz l'machane.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, right.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten ha'torah. We say Amen.
Hugs and kisses. I'll take the microphone. Perfect. And you'll just step right over to Cantor on the other side.
And it's my honor and pleasure to invite up another proud older sister, Mila Anton. Come on up. Ta'amon mazal bat Feifel Froim, v'tamar la'aliyah Torah.
And in these next verses, he's going to chant about how they're bringing all of these animals, and they're supposed to bring them to the tent of meeting to present as an offering to God before God's tabernacle. There's this whole blood guilt thing that's going to be imputed to the party. Having shed blood, that person could get cut off from among the people. And this is in order that the Israelites may bring the sacrifices which they have been making in the open, that they may bring them before God to the priests at the entrance of the tent of meeting and offer them as sacrifice of well-being. Remember, friends, he's going to teach us a lesson from this, that the priests may dash the blood against the altar of Adonai at the entrance of the tent of meeting and turn the fat into smoke as a pleasing odor to Adonai. Whew.
That was a long one.
That was a long one. Yeah, his Aliyah number 2, very long.
All right, page 34. 1, 2, 3. Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah. We all say, Amen.
Amen. V'yedaber Adonai velo petach ohel moed lo havienu lehakrihiv korban ladonai lipnei mishkan Adonai dam yechashev la'ish hahu dam shafach v'nichrat ha'ish hahu mikerev amo leman asher yaviu b'nei Yisrael et zichehem asher hem zonechim al panei hasadeh vehebi'um ladonai el petach ohel moed el hakohen vezavechu zivchei shelamim Ladonai otam vezarak hakohen et adam al mizbach Adonai petach ohel moed v'hiktir achelev l'reach nichoach Ladonai.
Beautiful.
All right, and we're going to make the blessing after the Torah. 1, 2. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen. Hugs and kisses. And now we get to call a very proud mom and dad, Todd and Tammy Anton. Ya'adu, Feifel Froyim, Ben Rachmiel Vehinkes Ziso, Tamar Bat Pinchas Eliyahu V'chaya, La'aliyah LaTorah.
So come on over here while I read our little translation here. And so we've gotten to the demon goats, the goat demons. So they're not supposed to be sacrificing goat demons if they stray. And this is going to be for them, the priests, a law for all time throughout the ages. And so God says, say to them further, if anyone of the house of Israel or the strangers who reside among them offers a burnt offering or a sacrifice and does not bring it to the entrance of the tent of meeting to offer it to God, that person, they're going to be kicked away from the rest of the people. All right, friends, are we ready for our blessing? Can you see it, Todd, from over there?
Right here.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Velo yizbechu od et zivchehem laseirim asher hem zonehim acharehem chukat olam tizot lachem ledorotam ve'alehem tomar ish ish mibei Yisrael umin hager asher yagur betocham asher yale olah o zavach ve'el petach ohel moed lo yavienu lasot oto ladonai v'nichrat ha'ish hahu me'ama'av.
Beautiful.
Mom and Dad.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten Torah.
Amen. Beautiful.
Beautiful. Hugs and kisses. You guys are going to go stand right next to Cantor.
And Graham, you're going to have a seat just for a moment, right over there. You're going to hang out there just for a minute.
So in just a second, Cantor is going to have the chance to, easy Tiger, to call him forward to the bima. He's clearly very ready. But before his last aliyah, it says, if any one of the house of Israel or of the strangers who reside among them partakes of the blood, I will set my face against the person who partakes of the blood. I will cut that person off from among kin. For the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have assigned it to you for making expiation for our lives upon the altar. It is the blood as life that effects expiation. Therefore, I say to the Israelite people, no person among you shall partake of blood, nor shall the stranger who resides among you partake of blood.
Okay. I know that we are very anxious, Graham, to hear your words of wisdom. And it's so appropriate that here we are in this moment for you getting ready to chant your fourth aliyah and becoming a bar mitzvah. It is in this moment, once I call you forward and you chant your blessing before your Torah portion, and you chant your Torah blessing, your Torah portion, and then you chant your blessing following, all of that is your transition into becoming a bar mitzvah. So at this moment, you're still awesome kid, Graham Anton, and in just another few moments, you will transform right before our very eyes into awesome young adult, Graham Anton, young Jewish adult, active participant and member of your community, and Graham, not only your synagogue community, but Graham, also your family, also your school community. You are now taking the ranks of leader. And so what you're going to do is called an Aliyat HaTorah, an ascension to the Torah. And you'll demonstrate that physically for us in a moment, but what's really happening is you are elevating, growing deeper and more connected to your Judaism, to your family, to your Jewish heritage and peoplehood and religion, and to God. And you are also allowing all of us to do that kind of elevation and create those deeper connections as well. So now it is my pleasure to call you up to the bima as an official bar mitzvah. Yamad habachor habar mitzvah, Gabriel v'Nachem v'Feifel Froyim v'Tamar, la'aliyah l'Torah.
Mama Jack, go closer.
I'd say blessing. I don't have the mic.
Oh, it's a mic. Good thinking, Lincoln.
Baruch Hu Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amin, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Ve'ish mibei Yisrael umin hager hagar betocham asher yochal kol dam v'natati fanai ba'nefesh ha'ochelet et hadam v'hichrati ota mikerev ama ki nefesh habasar badam hi fa'ani netati v'lachem al hamizbeach lechaper al nashotechem ki hadam hu mikerev ama amarti livnei Yisrael kol nefesh mikem lo tochal dam vehager hagar betochechem lo yochal dam.
Yasher koach.
get to do the blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chaye olam nata betochenu Baruch atah Adonai notin haTorah.
Amen. Beautiful. Hugs and kisses from parents. One more time for me. And if you guys will just stand on either side of Graham as you are now, so that I can offer, Graham, to you a mishaberach, a blessing for your spiritual growth upon becoming bar mitzvah. And we do it with the sacred Torah in our midst. Mishaberach avotenu v'imotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, v'Leah, hu yivarech et Gavriel, Menachem, ben Faivel, Froyam, v'Tamar. שהגיע למצוות ועלה לתורה, הקדוש ברוך הוא ישמרהו ויחייהו ויכונן את ליבו להיות שלם עם אדוני אלוהיו, להגות בתורתו, ללכת בדרכיו ולשמור מצוותיו, וימצא חן ושכל טוב בעיני אלוהים ואדם, ונאמר Amen, which means, may God, who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless you, Graham, because you have come for an aliyah upon the age of mitzvot. May the Holy One guard you and sustain you, helping you to be wholehearted in your faith, studying God's Torah, walking in God's ways, and fulfilling God's mitzvot. May you find favor before God and all people. And let us say, Amen. One more hug. One more hug. All right, friends, I'd like to invite up Josh Weinick to help with the dressing of the Torah. So come on up. And if the congregation will please rise, as the Torah is kind of going to get lifted up a little bit here, just as it gets dressed, as Cantor will sing for us Vizot HaTorah.
Vizot HaTorah asher shel Moshe livnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai beyad Moshe. Yalla lai 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 lai. Yay lai 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 lai. Yay lai 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 lai. Yalla lai 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 lai. Yay lai 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 lai. Yay lai lai lai. Yay lai 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 lai. Yay lai 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 lai.
Please be seated.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. My Torah portion is Acharei Mot from the book of Leviticus. My portion begins with a reflection about Aaron's sons, Nadav and Abihu. Because of the mistake they made when they did a sacrifice God did not ask for, Moses tells his brother Aaron to not make the same mistake that his sons made. Aaron then goes to the shrine to sacrifice a ram and sprinkle its blood with his fingers on the curtain of the shrine. Then he sacrifices the goat designated to God and sprinkles the blood. Next, he puts all the sins onto the other goat named Azazel and sends that goat into the wilderness. They do this so his sins can be forgiven. This is why we use the word scapegoat today. The portion then begins to talk about the Day of Atonement, Yom Kippur. It states that the Day of Atonement is a complete Sabbath or a full day of rest. Yom Kippur is a day for reflecting on our sins. It is also a day for self-denial, to redeem ourselves in the eyes of God. Yom Kippur is the most holy day for the Israelites to come for their sins. This is why Yom Kippur is still such a holy day. Everyone makes mistakes, and all of you probably know this, but the important thing about mistakes is that we can learn from them and do better going forward. A person named Maimonides, a rabbi and a scholar, taught the right way to move forward after you make a mistake. There are 4 steps to resolve the situation of the relationship. First, acknowledge our mistake and then ask for forgiveness. Then show sincere remorse, promising not to make the similar mistake again. Next, we do everything we can to right the wrong, meaning to make the person feel better after how we hurt them. Lastly, if the situation happens again, we need to take a different approach to how we handle the situation. Since mistakes are part of being human, instead of avoiding mistakes completely, we must learn from our mistakes. Then mistakes will be lessened if we make the best choices. We can go down the right path and be a happy person on the inside and out. This is important because if we are good people, others will notice and think highly of us. It also shows God we really care. Making good choices can be hard because there are temptations to take the easy way out, which isn't always the best choice. Overall, Judaism teaches that a person can be forgiven for their mistakes, but we should always try to be a better human being. By becoming a bar mitzvah, this means that I am now an adult in the Jewish community. I'm very honored to have this opportunity. I plan on going to Sunday school every Sunday as usual and helping out by being a madrich and spreading kindness. This is also called being a mensch. I also plan on telling people about my religion and educating them. When I get older, my family will belong to a synagogue. This is because I think it will be meaningful to us and they'll get the same spectacular experience I had. When I am older, I will also celebrate the important holidays such as Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Hanukkah, Purim, Passover, and many others. We will do all the rituals each holiday does, such as eating certain foods or lighting the candles. Helping the community is the most important value to me, also called kehillah. Helping the community means volunteering at homeless shelters or even picking litter up off the ground. This is important because it helps the community become better and cleaner and come together as one. It is also better because it makes the world a safer and happier place to be. This relates to Judaism because Jewish people have a long history of helping others and giving back. I have demonstrated this in my life by attending Hebrew school every Sunday and becoming a bar mitzvah, which I studied a lot for in the past few years. Also, I have been volunteering at the CAC, the Community Assistance Center, which gives food and clothes to people trying to get by. I will continue to make it a part of my life by volunteering with other charities and continue volunteering at the CAC. Israel is important to me because it's where the Jewish people all come together. This matters to me because it shows that we are like a family. When I go to Israel this summer with Temple Emanu-El, I'm excited to eat the food and see the Western Wall. I'm also excited to see all of the old artifacts and ancient places because it shows our history. When I was getting ready for my bar mitzvah, there were many people who helped me prepare. I want to thank Rabbi Rachel, who is also my tutor. She's been helping me along the way. When I'm struggling with Hebrew, she has always helped me was there for me. Lastly, she always puts a smile on my face. Thank you to Rabbi Spike, Rabbi Max, and Cantor Desnick for encouraging me along the way and giving me tips for improving my Hebrew skills. Miss Joanne, thank you for checking in on my Hebrew. Thank you for my family traveling here from New York and Florida and being here for this special moment. Grandpa Ronnie, Grandma Karen, and Grandma Denise, thank you for always being there for me and playing games with me. Milo, thank you for being the best sister you could be. You're always loving on me and give the best hugs. You always make me laugh with your jokes. Lena, thank you for also being the best sister in the world. You're always dancing with me, which makes me laugh, and you're an amazing sister. I'm glad to have 2 funny and sweet sisters. Last but not least, Mom and Dad. You guys have helped me through this bar mitzvah, and it has turned out great. I'm so glad you guys are my parents, and you are the best. Mom, you're so loving and make me always feel good when I'm down. You drive me everywhere and help me out in life. Dad, you're so funny and make me laugh, and you always help me with homework. We also watch all of our favorite shows together. You guys are the best, and I'm glad you're here with me today. Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom. Whew. Big exhale, Graham. You did it, dude. It's because it's important. You're rocking it. Okay. So, friends, now that we have had the chance to hear Graham beautifully chant Torah for us and then to teach us these words of Torah, it's now time for us to return our Torah to the Ark. And so if Mason Schwartz, Luke Halpern, and Piper Halpern would come on up so that you guys can help to open our Ark. We're going to be on page 39. And if the congregation will please rise. So go up to the
It's Chaimi Lama Chazikimba V'tomechecha Meushar Deracheha Darchei Noam V'chol Netivotecha Shalom Hashivenu Adonai Elecha V'nashuva Chadesh Chadesh Yameinu Chadesh Yameinu Kekedem.
There you go, perfect, thank you. You may be seated, unless you're Graham. Then you get to come up here and stand right there. Hey. Hi. You want to wave at everybody? So, Graham, I don't know that I've ever spent so much time with one student. In all the right ways, because I was blessed to get to study the tutoring stuff with you, and your Devar Torah, and now I'm super duper excited that we're about to go to Israel together too. And we're gonna have a blast. But what I want to talk to you about today is, I noticed that your Hebrew name that you were given was Gavriel. And I don't know if you know this, but your parents received 1/60th the power of a prophet when they picked that name, okay? That's what our tradition teaches, that when parents choose names, they get like 1/60th of a prophet power in selecting that name, and that name's supposed to be really special for you. So I don't know if you know this, but Gavriel, or Gabriel, is one of the guardian angels in Judaism. Yes, we have guardian angels in Judaism. And a guardian angel is somebody who's supposed to guard, to protect. And Graham, I've seen a lot of that in your sort of spirit, in the sense that like you look out for people. When somebody is like not doing great, you're kind of the guy that goes over and is like, hey, like, you okay? Do you need anything? And even just those small little moments to do that, to look out for somebody, to guard them, if you will, to be looking out, like that's a really big deal to that person in that moment. So keep finding those moments to live out your name, to be that guardian for people, because we need more guardians in the world. We need more people who look out for the other. Just like with your mitzvah project, volunteering at the CAC, at the Community Assistance Center, perfect example of what it means to live out that name. And so now, as an adult in our community, I pray that you continue to find ways to share that kindness, that menschlichkeit, being a mensch, with everybody in our community, that you continue with us as a madrich, and once again, hopefully go to Israel a second time with us after confirmation.
Graham, I am so proud of you. Watching you, being led by you this afternoon was so amazing. You have this incredible, bright spirit. And it was a pleasure to have not only been here with you in this moment, but I think I've been teaching you for like the past 2 or 3 years, up until like a few months ago, and in our Great Kippah. And you always were the one to bring that energy. I think at one point while we were on Zoom, you were the only one who remembered all of the Torah trope that I taught you guys. And you always tried, even if you got to a prayer and you didn't know it, or it was really hard, you gave it a shot, and you didn't just give it a half shot, you gave your whole self to it. So my prayer for you, Graham, my blessing for you is that you continue to shine that bright spirit into the world, into everything that you do, that you continue to bring your whole self into everything that you do. Mazel tov.
You're welcome. Everyone would please rise for our priestly benediction.
Yivarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May the light of God shine upon you and be gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha ve'yasem lecha shalom.
Graham, everywhere you go, keep that head held high. Feel your feet on the floor always. And may you walk humbly, with strength, and with peace. Together we say, Amen.
Amen.
Please be seated unless you are mom and dad. Come on up, guys. You stand right here.
All right, Graham, we are so proud of you. You're a representative of the Jewish community. You're a leader. You're now a man in our religion, right? You brought all these people together, which we'll talk more about later, of course. We prepared a few little things, so Graham, we are so proud of how well you did today, leading the congregation in prayer this afternoon. But more than that, we're proud of the wonderful young man you've become. You're caring, responsible, considerate, and generous, and you are on your way, as I said, to becoming a leader in both the Jewish community and the world in general. Today is also about family, friends, and community. It's about their dreams and their hopes. It's about traditions and values, and the passing of these traditions and values down through the ages, as Rabbi Rachel and Cantor Lawrence said. It's about your parents' bar mitzvahs, their confirmations, their formal and their informal religious training, and then their grandparents and their grandparents before them. Today in this temple, a house of worship and ritual, you join them. It's your turn now to be encircled by family, friends, and community, some, of course, who traveled great distances to be here with us. But yet we're willing to make the effort to be here. We are all here to witness and celebrate with you as you represent our trust in God, our hopes, and our dreams. You are the promise. We watch you embracing the Torah, the cornerstone of our faith, with joy and comfort, knowing that you will strive to live by the values that it teaches. Finally, the Torah is the authority that guides our choices in life. You will have many choices in your life. You have come to trust your judgment and your choices, but throughout your life, as you said, you'll be thrown curveballs. Unexpected events will happen. Remember, as you talked today about Leviticus and its rules, which is just 1/5 of the Torah, but much of the Torah is about life unfolding and learning how our ancestors dealt with life's challenges, sometimes successfully and sometimes not. We want you to know that Mom and I will always be here for you as your life unfolds. That's you.
We also want you to know that family and friends are here for you too. Graham, may your endeavor to be a good person. Remember that all God really requires from you is your just actions. It really is pretty black and white. It's about mitzvah. It's about your deeds. It is about respect for and pride in your heritage and living an ethical, balanced life with honor, integrity, and laughter. May you absorb the years of history, knowledge, and wisdom this amazing land has to offer. Learn from those that came before you and from the example of those around you today. May you wear our dreams as comfortably as you wear your talit and carry on our hopes. And may you too always trust in God. We love you. Yes, we do.
I want to thank you, Rabbi and Cantor, for doing this amazing service for us, working with Graham for all these months and years and making him a member of our community, as we said, bringing all these people together and doing an amazing service.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if your sisters will come on up to join us just for Aleinu, the Shabbat. We're going to be on page 40. If you guys will just help me to open the ark, so up either side, and please rise.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, la'tet gidula liotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kegulei ha'aratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu k'chol hamonam, va'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech, Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, V'nemor, V'haya Adonai, L'melech al kol haaretz, Bayom hahu, Bayom hahu, Yeh Adonai echad, U'shemo, U'shemo, U'shemo echad.
You may be seated. Just come over here. Sure. Did I miss somebody? To bring Drew? Yeah. Drew, come on up, please. All right, friends. On page 41, we are getting ready for our mourner's Kaddish. This is a prayer of remembrance where we recall the names of loved ones who have died in recent days as well as those who have died in seasons past. And I know the Anton family is especially thinking on this joyous occasion of Jean Nachman, of Carol and Joseph Rodriguez, Dorothy and Ted Schwartz, Benjamin and Ruth Anton, and Marvin Wienek. If anybody is in the first 30 days, Yud Bet, mourning the loss, Shloshim. Am I doing this wrong? Yeah, I'm good, okay. If anybody is in the first 30 days, Shloshim, mourning the loss of a loved one, I invite you to please rise so that we may recognize you. If anyone is in the first year, Yud Bet, mourning the loss of a loved one, to rise so that we may recognize you. If on this Shabbat you are observing a yahrzeit, a death anniversary of a loved one, we invite you to rise so we may recognize you. And if it is your custom to rise for Mourner's Kaddish, as it is here at Temple Emanu-El, we invite you to do so at this time. The words for Kaddish Yatom are on page 40. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayachon uvyomechon uvchaye d'chol Beit Yisrael v'agala v'zman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevarach le'olam u'almei almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yit'alal shemei d'kudusha barichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata Ta'amiran be'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu ya'asei shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen.
Osei shalom b'mromav, hu ya'asei shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'yimeru. Amen.
The congregation will please rise if you're currently seated as we transition into Havdalah, our ceremony of separation. So Anton family, if you guys will head over to our Havdalah set and get the candle lit.
So one of you is going to light the candle.
Todd, are you lighting the candle?
And there's a few wicks. Yeah, there you go. Excellent. And then one of you is going to pick the candle up. Graham, how about you pick the candle up? with the silver holder. Yep, silver holder. There you go. And then Mom and Dad, one of you take the spices, one of you take the Kiddush cup. And where can they find the words? Is it in the Siddur?
Theoretically, you were given a sheet.
Theoretically,
But if not, lilacs are good.
lilacs are great. We're going to sing them right now. Yeah, lie, 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 lie. Yeah, lie, 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 lie. Yeah, lie, 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 lie. Yeah, lie, 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 lie. Yeah, lie, 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 lie. Yeah, lie, 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 lie. Yeah, lie, 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 lie. Yeah, lie, 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 lie. We lift up the Kiddush cup. So Mom, lift up the Kiddush cup nice and high as we bless the wine. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen borei peri hagafen. And now, Dad, you are going to lift up the spices. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Give them a sniff as we smell the sweetness of Shabbat. Borei minei besamim, borei minei besamim. Beautiful. And then Graham, you're going to lift up that candle nice and high. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei meorei ha'esh borei meorei ha'esh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamavdil ben kodesh lechol, hamavdil ben kodesh lechol. And now you're going to extinguish, so everybody's going to be very quiet. This is the moment when you hear the extinguishing of the flame in the Kiddush cup. That is the final kiss goodbye of Shabbat, that little sizzle, and we wait anxiously for next week, knowing that Shabbat will come again. So Graham, you're going to douse that candle right into the Kiddush cup. Hamavdil ben kodesh lechol, chatotenu yimchol, zor'enu v'chaspenu yorbekachol, v'chakochavim b'layla. Shavua tov, 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 Shavua tov. Eliyahu Hanavim, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagiladi. We say good week. We sing for Eliyahu, and now we sing Siman Tov Mazel Tov on this amazing occasion. Siman Tov Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov. Yehelanu, 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 U'Chol Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, U'Chol Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, U'Chol Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, U'Chol Yisrael.
Mazel tov. Shavua tov, everybody. Shavua tov.